Hey, welcome investors to the 40 Finance channel. This is Thanksgiving week of 2021, and TipRanks sent me an email that they are having a Black Friday sale on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Some potential gets extended into Sunday, not sure yet, but I wanted to go over some of the best features that TipRanks has to offer, give you sort of my review of the platform. This is one that I've been using since 2018. And then when I started making videos and building up the 40 Finance channel, I reached out to TipRanks and just said, hey, do we have any partnership options? I love your platform. It's helped me a lot. And the bottom line is I do these sort of TipRank review videos every quarter or so on the channel. I also use TipRanks. You'll see anytime I do a deep dive on stocks, I typically show what TipRanks analysts are doing. And full disclosure, I earn a small commission every time someone signs up for the TipRanks platform using my link there in the description. So today I'm going to give you a review of what I think are the best features. Hopefully you'll find this review helpful, and if so, and if you're thinking about buying TipRanks, please use my affiliate link, support the channel. I really appreciate it. Now let's dig into some of the best features of the TipRanks stock platform. All right, so here's the homepage of TipRanks when you log in. You can see my profile up here. I'm an Ultimate member, but every time I answer questions through email and in the comments below, I always tell people like 90% of folks can go with the premium plan. The one thing that comes in handy with Ultimate is just you can have multiple portfolios in the system. So if you like to chunk your portfolios out into maybe a growth portfolio and a dividend portfolio, and you want to see them separately, that's where Ultimate would come in handy. Otherwise, all the top features we're going to look at today are available with the premium membership. All right, so I'm going to jump right into the number one thing that I use on TipRanks, and we'll use Amazon as an example here. And if you've been around the channel for a while, you recognize this screen. This is the Analyst Ratings screen here. It is available for almost every known stock that I can think of. Certainly S&P 500. I'm not going to quote and say that they have all of the Russell 2000. The bottom line, I guess, is if a stock has an analyst rating, if Wall Street is tracking a stock and following it, you're going to find it in here. And this sort of consensus view is nice, just to give you sort of an average over the past 3 months. But I really like going down to the table here. And this is what I think is the most defining feature of TipRanks, just to be honest with you. This is a breakout of all the analyst ratings, including the day that the rating came out. All right, so whereas you would normally be, let's just say on a Yahoo or something, and you would see, okay, you would basically see this information, right? You would see 29 analysts say buy, 0 holds, 0 sells. That would be about the most you would see. You might also get a consensus target in a website like Yahoo, but I like to come down here and dig into the actual details, and probably the best part about it is when you go on here, TipRanks has a scoring system based on analysts' past recommendations, whether it's buy, sell, or hold, okay? So for my videos, I always use this tick box here, which is just the top analysts. We go from all analysts, which on Amazon includes, 31, but I like to go to top analysts, which cuts out a couple of them, just to 4 and 5 stars. And then I think the biggest feature here is, depending on what day you come in, you can see how the story is changing. So Amazon's earnings report, I'm guessing, was 26 days ago, because you just had a huge amount of activity come in. And let's just say it's been 26 days since you've looked at analysts' opinions on Amazon. You come into TipRanks and you can kind of see what's changed, right? And some of the best analysts do update their positions or their opinions on a stock every couple weeks or so, especially if you got into something that was very, very volatile and it just had a news event. you're usually going to have some new opinions come in here. So being able to track the latest price updates, I think, is important. And the one thing to understand about these price targets is technically they're supposed to be the projections for the next 12 months from the day they were assigned. Okay, so if you know how to read it correctly, you can get a feel for like upside. So Amazon, $3,500 to $4,000, that's a good run. It feels like a lot of money, but you also get like the math done for you, and it's like, okay, well, it's 13% projected over the next 12 months from this date 5 days ago, which was November 18th. So with that in mind, you can compare different stocks. Let's just pretend you're comparing it with Google. And let's say that the tiebreaker for you is most upside over the next 12 months. Then you might see Google has a 20% upside. I'm not sure where they sit, but that gives you some idea. If you're really trying to settle a score between two stocks you're considering buying, TipRanks is a good way to do it. But most importantly, the up-to-date information, I think, for investors is very, very important. All right, so this is like the stock view. And you can also go in to each analyst to get a feel for what type of stocks do they like to cover, right? So if you wanted to go here on Brian Nowak, and we already know that he likes Amazon because we saw that on the last screen, but you might say to yourself, well, what other stocks does Brian follow, and how successful has he been with Amazon? Well, from each stock, you have this drop down right here. Give it a second to load. And you can see all of the individual signals that Brian assigned to Amazon. And in this case, they go all the way back to 2020. Not sure if they go back further. Yeah. So depending on the analysts and how long they've been in the game, you could have several signals here. And with this chart, you can kind of eyeball like, okay, well, how's it been? I mean, he's been bullish forever, basically, in this case. And you would argue that, well, if you went back to May 26th of 2020, where this chart begins, hasn't been a bad bet because you went from $2,400 up to $3,500. But you can get a feel for Brian's coverage of this stock. So that was the Amazon chart, and you get an individual chart for each one of these stocks, okay? And you can see right from the table how long it's been since Brian last updated it. Then you get these profile screens, what they're ranked off of the TipRanks score. And if you like what you see from Brian's portfolio, and it represents a lot of stocks you like, you can press this follow button and you'll get updates on Brian's activity. Now, if you want to stack other experts against each other, simply go to the top experts, and we're going to this one here, the Expert Center. And there's a handful of categories here. So you have the standard sell-side analysts. This is what most people would call Wall Street analysts. You have financial bloggers, corporate insiders, and hedge fund managers. And all of the expert areas work about the same. You just click on here to see the top 25 Wall Street analysts. And then from there, you can try to highlight their sector proficiency. So if we wanted technology experts, we just click that here. And then you get the top-ranked technology analysts based on TipRanks scoring platform. So how about we go to this one, Brent Bracelin. Just click on profile. You get all of Brent's picks. You get all of the updates 4 or 5 days ago. And once again, you can follow Brent if you want to. And if you see a name that you're not familiar with, like Toast, just click on Toast, and it will take you back to the stock analyst page where you can see what other people think of Toast. So there's Brent, and we can compare Brent, who came in 14 days ago, with other opinions. Brent was a buy at 65, but Dan here is a hold at 43. So you can kind of cross compare those picks and see what you think. And long story short, you're not going to get this level of detail on analyst picks anywhere that I've seen on the internet. I see plenty of places that have consensus analysts. I see plenty of places that talk about how many price targets have been raised and lowered, but it's all just a number, right? If you really want to dig in and see what these people are doing and their track record, TipRanks, to my knowledge, is the only place that you can do that. All right, let's go back to Amazon real quick. We're back on this home page, sort of the forecast and price targets page, and I want to show you some of the other features. So we know about the analysts. Let's go to the stock analysis page, and they have this little chart/graph here. The first section is the TipRanks Smart Score. This is basically their algo, how they look at stocks from a quant formula, and they've got an 8 on Amazon. And then from there, they've broken everything up. So if you want to go to the Wall Street analysts, you just click here. Then you have blogger opinions right next to analyst ratings. You have hedge fund activity. Let's take a look at that. And this shows how much hedge funds have been buying and selling Amazon stock. Now, this is based on the SEC reporting, so it is going to be a little bit of a lag. Looks like they're up to September 30th. And the very negative sentiment here probably is just an indication of where this was last year, but it's something to keep in mind when you see this. Maybe you do want to dig into that news signal. And then we go down here, and we have the individual hedge funds that have purchased or sold Amazon stock. And so it looks like on this side, it's either all new positions or added positions. Let's see if anyone reduced their position in Amazon from a hedge fund. And there you have that set up right there. And you could go into these hedge funds. It runs very similar to what you see with the analyst charts, where it has the different updates. The only difference is it's not real time, right? So you have reported on September 30th. This is because you have to wait for the SEC reports to come out. But they compare the reports from the previous to the latest. And then the software here tells you like how much was the holding change and, percent of portfolio. So if we look at just Microsoft on this one, let's see what they do. All right, and here you have the timeline of Microsoft in this prime cap management hedge fund. So it looks like they bought early, 2013, 2014, 2016, and perhaps for rebalancing reasons, they've just taken a little bit of profit off, seemingly each time leading into this year. All right, so back at the Amazon screen, that was the hedge fund activity that we dug into. This is insider activity. They don't have enough data to do their quant confidence signal, but they do have insider buy and sell transactions from the past several days. You have Bezos here. It doesn't say exactly how much he sold, but we do see 5 days ago, you had a director who sold $1 million worth of Amazon stock. And then 7 days ago, you had a few people come in and sell $3 million. And then I believe this link here, these link to the Edgar archives, which will show you exactly who sold it, what was the date, all those things if you want to get into the details. All right, next up we have TipRanks investors. This is just the number of people who put Amazon stock in their TipRanks portfolio. So, I personally don't spend a lot of time on that section, but news sentiment I do think is cool because it basically analyzes headlines across the internet on, bearish and bullish news. So if we just wanted to look at bearish, it gives us a few headlines over the past 4 days. It looks like in this case, they are tied to the Rivian stock, which recently fell after a debut. So I don't know, that's not technically Amazon, but they do have a connection to each other. And then this other one here is the Amazon Visa credit card feud they have going on over in the UK. And for each of these, you can click on the link and you will be led to the actual article so that you can read it, and it comes up in a new tab. So all you have to do is close it, and then you can read the next article if you want. And here's the bullish news. Big company like Amazon, tons of news that you could get into. So that's just the eyeball view, and then they also add this kind of chart/graph view where they, put in how many bullish articles, how many neutral or press releases, and then bearish articles. So it gives you an idea, and then throws the stock price behind it. Now, one thing that TipRanks added here just a month or two ago, I haven't dug into it fully yet, but they have this new website traffic analysis where they basically give you a graph of how Amazon.com's web traffic is being reported. And you can break it up into a lot of different things like mobile and unique visitors. See what else they have. And then you can break it off across their conglomerates. In this case, you got Twitch. See how that works. Twitch and IMDb. Maybe we put them all together and see what happens. And you get this graph. So if you were worried about website traffic or you wanted to see it on a quarterly view, this tool is here. I can't speak for it too much because I really haven't played with it. Most of my investments aren't based on web traffic, but I will say, and now I see this year-over-year chart comparison, I will say that it's an added bonus, and maybe I just need to get more familiar with it. I do like down here, though, where they kind of cut out a couple segments for you to see. Fastest growing e-commerce websites. So we'll click that in. This is separate, obviously, from the Amazon page, but you get an idea on how some of these e-commerce websites are doing, and you could probably go down quite the rabbit hole into these. All right, last thing I want to show you here is just let you know, of course, they have charting with, candles and time frames and all those things that you see on the Yahoos and whatnot. They also have stats and fundamentals, earnings dates, etc., etc. I don't spend as much time on these stock pages, if you will, but the things that you're probably wondering, well, do they have the most common information? They do. I spend more time on the analyst side, but if you ever did want to get in here and take a 3-month view at technicals, you can set up your view and charts, almost however you want. They even do the math for you. On the 3-month view, here's the 6-month, 9.41%, 1 year, 15%. You have the long view down here, and you can go to advanced chart. I am not a chart heavy person, so I will assume that you have all the tools that you need here. If you do want to get into charting, I would be more inclined, to be honest with you, looking at the fundamentals, which we have all listed down here. And then, of course, financials, earnings, revenues, P ratio ranges. And actually, one last thing I want to show you while I'm thinking about it. This earnings calendar that they have does a really nice job of incorporating the analyst ratings and when stocks are going to report, and you have a lot of different filtering options over here. So keep in mind this earnings calendar. So that's a very unique tool that I have played with several times, and you can set it up a lot of different ways. If you're wondering about cost, the premium membership on a standard day is $360 for 12 months. It's billed in an annual cycle, so it's not like $30 each month. It's the $360 up front. Now, if you think about the Black Friday discount, you get 30% off of that, and the link in my description will automatically apply that special coupon code for you. It'll be right in the cart, and you'll actually save, I wrote it down here, about over $100, about $108 savings with this Black Friday sale. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. As always, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. You can send me an email. I'm happy to help you with TipRanks. All right, investors, thanks for your time. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving weekend. We'll see you on the next video.